Welcome to the show, Farmhouse Asset Creators. And today we have very special guest who has helped a lot of people to construct and complete their dream of owning farmhouse. Our guest today is architect Swati Vaidya. And
Hello.
hi, hi Swati. So Swati has more than 20 years of experience into architecture, interior designing, and urban planning, and she's owner of iDesign firm, which is specialized into architecture and interior designing. And she has helped number of people for their farmhouse designing as well as for the interior part of it. She has designed more than 20 plus farmhouses across Maharashtra. So today, this is the live show with Swati, especially to understand her journey as an entrepreneur, and then we'll talk few pointers from her end as words of wisdom in terms of farmhouse construction. So over to you, Swati, just to start, how you decided to be an architect?
So it's a very typical question everybody asks. So generally it is about, my uncle was an architect, and when I was a child, he sent me a picture of
Mhm.
Chandigarh. He had
Okay.
gone to Chandigarh and he sent me a picture of Chandigarh. And as you know, Chandigarh is the first well-designed city in India, and it
True.
is designed by Le Corbusier, who's internationally acclaimed artist,
Yeah.
architect. And I think somewhere that seed was sown that aisa kuch karna chahiye. I like doing this, and then that whole thing developed. So I think that must be why I always like looking at history, visiting historical structures, forts, mosques, temples, etc., and looking at new architects' work. So it always inspired me, and I thought that something that we do, it will remain here even after we are gone. So that is what I think was a
Wow.
inspiration.
That's the eternal cause we say, na? We keep our legacy behind.
Legacy band, yes, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Was anyone from your family was into the same profession? It might be a different thought process altogether, right? When you thought of coming into this field.
Yeah, so nobody was into, my family is basically people who are in service.
Hmm.
Okay, so as an entrepreneur, I think I am the first person to get into this foray, that setting up my own practice and doing things on my own. So that was, I think, but my family was pretty much full of teachers, professors, and high level bureaucrats. So that is
True.
where we come from. Yeah.
Wow. And when you started doing your architecture, then how you decided, like how your journey has been? You have worked somewhere, or you started taking immediate assignment? How it has been?
Yeah, so when I worked with uh, some prestigious firms in Mumbai. I am basically from Mumbai, so my first 6, 7 years of gathering experience was over there. There I
Hmm.
worked with firms who majorly designed again farmhouses and
Hmm.
land development, at the foothills of Mathiran. So that
Hmm.
was my first experience as a fresh pass out person.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was one day I went to the site and I didn't know how, it was all hilly and that kind of a thing, and I had to take certain decisions, and that is where, along with my senior architect, we had to, and it was all new thing for me, and that was the time I was really taken aback by the wilderness,
Hmm.
that whole
Hmm.
nature. And it
Yeah.
is so difficult to, designing is one part, designing we can do because it is so beautiful, but the building there was like, we had to super go there, oversee the work. So it was, but it was a very good experience because it gave us that foundation. सी
True. True.
व्हेन हम लोग जब भी शुरू करते हैं तभी एक फाउंडेशन एकदम मजबूत होना पड़ता है. दैट इज व्हाट हैपेंड ओवर देयर.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So that is how I started, and then I went on to design industrial architecture. Then there are, like, residential buildings, but that core thought always stayed with me. And when I
Mhm.
shifted to Pune, then again you have, a lot of, Mulshi and Panshet, and, all the dams are there in such a beautiful area.
Yes.
So I got a lot of clients who wanted to build there. And that's how my
Mhm.
career actually started.
Right, right, right. So your client pushed you to work
Yes,
from
yes, yes,
for
yes.
them and design for them. That's how it
Yes,
has been
yes,
a journey for you.
yes.
Wonderful. And how basically a lot of people might have approached you for a particularly farmhouse requirement. So how your journey has been with your clients in terms of taking one assignment to another assignment. If you can just give one or two case studies to us, so that would give our viewers also idea about when they are thinking of constructing a farmhouse.
So I think that when you are, the journey with the client, in my perspective, usually we get these people, or families who want to build something, uh, some farmhouse, something for, where they can go for weekend, or stay, and in the vicinity of nature and all. But so they typically a client comes with me with a plan, that this is a beautiful farmhouse, a plot that we have purchased, and we want to build a farmhouse, and these are the views.
Hmm.
And then we say okay, and then we look at the contour plan. Okay, then we realize that acha ye to like road level से लास्ट प्लॉट ऑफ लाइन ऑफ प्लॉट तक तो ये 50 फुट ऊपर जा रहा है,
Yeah.
एंड देन वी से कि ओके, एंड व्हाट आर द व्यूज दैट वी गेट, एंड देन द client, I mean, because they are not aware that as you go high away from the road, you have to actually design very cleverly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your costs will go, haywire.
Yeah. True.
And
True.
so, what happens is, while purchasing, people don't remember, because they get so
True.
captivated by the views, right? Like,
Views and
ah,
nature.
and nature. So, though I say, like, they see, oh, it's very beautiful, and then they buy that plot. After, I mean, then they come to us. Also, I think that they, most of them say that, they see in movies, right, Reshma, like,
Yeah.
the whole family, goes,
For
to some
outing.
farmhouse, and then they have some party or whatever. Especially you will see it in Suraj Barjatia's films, पूरी शादी होती है, whatever. So I mean, just jokes apart, but they have these kind of visuals in their mind that, बड़ा
True.
सा घर होगा, and आंगन होगा, and all those
Yes.
things. So
Yes.
and the plot size also. So these are the things they come with. Then we
Hmm.
have to actually see the feasibility, and then we have to see how we can, get it at a realistic level.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think that's what it comes कि हमको ऐसा चाहिए. Some people come with an image,
Huh.
you know. Uh, this it should look like this, the entrance should look like this. So they obviously, Reshma, you will understand that they come with dreams.
Yeah.
They
True.
have
That's
dreams
true. That's
for,
true.
yeah, and
Yes.
they want them to be fulfilled. And
Hmm.
then we have to a little bit tweak their dreams, but still give them that dream.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. And especially when it comes for only residential construction, it's more of a flat and there is no contouring. But I think here in farmhouse, it's more of a contour development. That's
Yes,
where the role of an architect become very critical. And
yes,
obviously, it's a dream once in a lifetime. So there are a lot of
yes,
stakeholders who might be guiding you. Yes,
yes,
and yes, chahiye.
yes.
So any of the one of the farmhouse case study, if you would like to share how it was selected, or you have been a part of a land selection, or land directly was given to you and then you thought over it, how it is.
Yeah. So one of the my fondest memory is of a farmhouse which we have designed in Khanapur area, yeah, near Simagad Fort.
Hmm, hmm,
So there I got this client who had half an acre of a land. Okay,
hmm, hmm,
and she was clear that I want to build this thing, and I want to do some farming, some gardening, and all those things.
Hmm.
And again, the same thing, that when she had a difference of around 35 feet
Oh.
from the road level.
Hmm.
And so we chose a piece of land
Hmm. Hmm.
where
Hmm.
it was relatively flat, and
Hmm.
at the same time we had kind of we could build over there,
True.
and they had a magnificent view of Mulshi backwaters
Hmm.
from
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
point.
Okay. Okay.
Now there was a tree over there, which was a very
Hmm.
old tree, which had, I think it was a tulip tree with orange flowers and all.
Hmm.
And so we kept the tree,
Hmm.
we built around the tree, and to get the the perfect view, and at those areas you have the blue sky in the night, dark
Yeah.
blue
Yeah.
sky, you can see stars and all. So we want then we
Allahu Akbar, Allah.
so we gave them a kind of a an attic from
Yeah.
where you have view.
Yeah.
And
True.
the actually, you will not believe, the farmhouse is so small. It is just, it is just 450 square feet.
Wow.
Okay, it has a tiny kitchen. It has one bedroom, a
Hmm.
small living room, a toilet, module, and it has got 1,000 square feet of an open veranda.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Because my thought was that वहां जाएंगे तो अंदर तो रहेंगे ही नहीं ना. So
Hmm.
you go out and you will
Yeah.
play,
Yeah. That's
you
true.
will
That's
have
true.
antakshari and things like that. So
Yeah.
that was my thought, and I think that is my smallest project, but I hold it very close to my heart because it is actually wrapped around in nature.
True.
वो
True.
दिखता भी
True.
नहीं है.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
I think that is my memory.
And I think since when we have started as an excellent shelters brand coming into farmhouses, we also started exploring a lot of farmhouse projects across, and every individual has different choice, especially when we look at in terms of the different kind of the look people want as per their choices. What you mentioned is just even a 450 square feet can create that ambience, create that grandness. These are some of the very critical important things. I think architect add a lot of value, and especially with how to play with contours.
Right.
Most of the time, because when you need a view, it's very critical that you need to take a land which is like on the slope or
Yes.
on the contour. It's more of architect who plans that where to keep what you mentioned about there was a difference of the this much
Yes.
area, and at the same time you figure out where to construct and then do it.
Yes.
That's where I realized, because a lot of people they think अरे ये तो बहुत ज़्यादा contour वाला land है, should I go for buying it? But what's your opinion in that term? Generally, when you think of agar your view should not be also blocked, especially if it's a gated community. In that case, it has to be a contouring site. Otherwise, everybody will not get the
Yes.
view. So in that case, how people, when they are buying, should they think of buying it on contour level? What kind of height differences they should think of?
My advice to people who are keen on buying, plots for building farmhouses, and then they want, there is a view to that particular site.
Hmm.
My advice would be that look at the highest point of that site.
Oh, okay.
Okay, of the whole plot. Select your plots very carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Think about not just convenient, but also sometimes some adventure. Think like that also. And also, if it is gated community, for example, please make sure that if you want, there are roads, internal roads there. If the internal roads are coming, then you are safe.
Yeah, true.
You have
You can
water
reach out easily. Even you are
Yes.
starting construction, it becomes easy for
Easy
taking
for
material.
you, because mobilization of materials and everything becomes very easy.
True.
Second part is that you should be looking at electrical connections. Electricity connection should be at your doorstep. I think those are 2 points which will make the building activity very easy, and
True.
clients' headaches very less. I mean, they will go away, because that is most critical. And they being, then when you are looking at the slopes, you can go in for a higher slopes, but then think about building smartly than, expanding it, or, making farmhouse on a very large area.
True, true. What you mentioned, like you use 450 square feet and you took the
Yes,
maximum
yes.
area as a view.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
that's
probably you can think about what is your family size.
hmm,
How many people are really going to go at one place, one
hmm,
time?
hmm, hmm,
How much time you will be able to get spend over there,
hmm,
and
hmm,
what are the activities you really want to have over there. So why you are
true.
going there to have a look at things, have, to be with nature,
Yeah.
and if you are going there for view, then make the most of it, because don't cover it. You have a
Hmm,
very wide angle view and
true.
design accordingly. And of course, uh, when we are contour land is very glamorous, let me tell you, Reshma.
Hmm, hmm,
But
hmm,
leveling, cutting and terracing will help you to get a decent buildable area in that contour also. So I
true.
think we have to
So, what do you think? At what stage people should involve architect while choosing a land itself, or what's your
I think
opinion?
ideal thing would be that you are, while choosing the land, if you just show it, like, or at least
Hmm,
discuss it while taking decision, or,
hmm,
that will help a lot, because
hmm,
we have those filters in our mind. We can easily
true,
tell you in a one plot of land, if it has a good view,
true.
whether what is, how this can be built vis-a-vis other plots. So what happens is that comparison in mind becomes very fast,
Yes.
because we have that visualization capacity that, we can tell them.
Hmm,
But,
hmm, hmm.
and also I think the second part is like hidden costs.
Okay. What do you mean by that?
Hidden costs of construction. Okay,
Okay.
so a plot may be very nice, the design may be very, maybe adaptable, but then are there any hidden costs? Is there a water stream going from the plot? Is there
Okay.
any, what is the type of soil? So all
Hmm,
these
hmm,
things are sometimes, as a lay person, people don't know.
hmm,
So
hmm,
where we
hmm.
can help them in just
So it add up to the development cost of it over the
huh,
line. That's
yes.
what
So
you mean.
then maybe that choice of plot may differ then, a
Hmm,
client may buy another plot, but then
hmm,
still he will make a very informed decision.
hmm, 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 hmm. Okay. You have been seen and you have worked on a lot of farmhouses. How is the thought process when people generally buy land? They look at land cost, but what you talked about just now is more of a infrastructure development and then construction part of it. So when it comes for the construction, being architect, what are the different types of the constructions generally you recommend to people, because they have only dream of this kind of a structure, but what kind of a materials to be used, or can it be more eco-friendly? How these choices are made by you as an architect generally?
So when I design a farmhouse, I consider two main criterias. How much energy is going to be used in constructing that farmhouse? Because
Mhm.
what happens, Reshma, is in far-flung places, you don't have electricity. I mean,
True.
electricity connection may be there, but in you know to electricity to run your welding machines and other equipments and machinery, may be there, may not be there, and that affects the
Total
speed
construction
of
timeline.
construction
True. True.
and timeline, and then
True.
thus the cost. So
True.
what I consider is that you should the building materials should be modular.
Hmm.
We
Hmm.
can use several different types of building blocks than bricks. There are so
Hmm.
many available in the market, you just have to search a little bit. So
Hmm.
construction methodology can be a mix of load bearing and RCC construction.
Okay.
You have to just design for the earthquake resistance, because
Hmm.
your
Hmm.
load of the structure is going to be very less. It's going to be maximum ground floor or ground plus one structure,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
or at different levels. So,
Hmm.
so the load is going to be very less. So don't build very heavy structures.
Hmm.
So I choose materials which are basically natural building materials available nearby. For example, plinth can be made out of the basalt which is available and which is very good for foundations. So we can use that. And for the superstructure, you can, I would say that you can have prefabricated construction system. You can even have a very smart steel structure which will take the load, and it will, the though the cost is a little high, the time becomes very less, faster.
And I think it
And,
becomes easy for
yeah,
in terms of a transportation.
yes,
Rest of the timelines are also same.
yes. And you can, it can also give you good finish, and your
Hmm.
windows and doors and all that can be used in such a way that they are usually rodent free. You
True.
are, mosquitoes will not come in, or any there are so many animals, and we have to understand that we are going in their ecosystem, right, when we go
True.
build there. वो सारे हमारे यहाँ मेहमान बन के ना आए, इसके लिए we have to have some certain rat trap bonds, and all those things have to be built. So these are the things which I see.
Yeah.
Frankly speaking, we need to have uh, rustic construction works in farmhouses, but we also have to see the maintenance part of it. So maintenance free materials is also something that we should actively look into. So these are a few criterias about selection of materials and building technology that I choose when I am designing a farmhouse.
True. And especially being architect, you have traveled across the globe and you have studied so many projects as a case study globally. How do you see this as a farmhouse market? Because countryside living is the trend in Western countries anyway. So what are the different new things that you have seen still not in India, or they are just started in India? What you see it as a future construction technology?
One very, very, very wonderful experience which I had was in Italy, in
Okay.
Florence, where we stayed in a small cabin as
Hmm.
such, and
Hmm.
it was so small, I tell you, Reshma,
Hmm.
that it was just one big room with a
Hmm.
spacious shower, and
Hmm.
a WC separate and a wash basin separate, and it had one bed and another single bed, so four people could comfortably stay in that cabin. It had a small veranda, and
Hmm.
it was made out of engineered wood,
Oh.
and it had all the amenities. The roof was fitted with solar panels, so it
Hmm.
was a self-sustaining model of electricity
True.
and everything.
True.
And I think those are the concept. It was all a kind of assembled on site. Okay,
Hmm.
it was
Hmm.
must
Hmm.
have been built somewhere, but assembled on site. And I think that was something which interested me, because I think we need to have such kind of things.
Hmm.
Joe, it should accelerate their dream, right? I mean, it should be built and used very fast. That
Okay.
is what
How
I.
do you think like people are already have started constructing in this kind of a material in India, or any particular fear that people have? Generally, I come across a lot of clients asking if this is fabricated or this is precast. So in that case, they have certain uncertainty. We always groomed with, and we always grew up with RCC construction, and slab
Yes,
structure
yes,
is
yes.
always good. So as an architect, what's your opinion about it?
I think you should be you have to be very cautious about what happens is that in India, what unfortunately people uh, you know associate economical is equal to ecological.
True, true,
Huh.
true, true.
So when you want eco-friendly prefabricated building systems, they may not be economical also. So
True.
my advice to them is that by having these prefabricated ecological, eco-friendly building systems, you can actually, you spend a little bit more, but
Hmm,
you
hmm,
save
hmm.
on lot of indirect costs, and
True.
most importantly, you save on time.
Hmm, hmm,
Okay,
hmm.
because in ghats you have very limited window for
Resources
construction,
available. That's
right?
true. True.
monsoons you can't do anything.
True. True.
Yeah,
True.
so
True.
I think it
And
will.
from the maintenance perspective, how this construction works actually, because more of a farmhouse, banana is a one thing, construction is a one part, but what you talked about is more important is maintenance, because it's not much used like our house. And obviously the areas might be rainy or hilly areas. So as you mentioned about earthquake and all. So from a maintenance perspective, how these structures are, means, is it like a uh, long period of a time, or how it has to be?
So basically, regular maintenance we have to do for any structure, right? But
Hmm, hmm,
construction point
hmm,
of view, we have to see that the waterproof construction is required.
hmm,
You have to look at the uh, I would say that the outside finish needs to be proper so that the
hmm,
moisture is not in.
hmm,
And you have to design it in such a way that we protect the vertical surfaces, so you will
hmm,
see that
hmm, hmm,
slopes have
hmm,
to be properly
hmm,
made, and
hmm.
then the overhangs have to be more, so that
True.
inside there will be lesser moisture. So basically moisture
Hmm,
causes all
hmm,
the
hmm,
damage, and you have to create
hmm,
moisture free areas in the house.
hmm, hmm. Okay, okay. That's a good point. What's your message to aspiring farmhouse buyers or people who are searching for the land? And you might have seen, obviously, most of your clients also have been searching for the land since long. What's your one message to them?
My message is that buy land and build on it. you know don't wait for don't wait for some things to happen or whatever, because once if you prepare, then it will be like, if you
Hmm,
budget
hmm,
it out that you are going to buy land and then you are going to build immediately, however small. Go
hmm.
there, spend time, and then get acquainted, build phase wise, but build
True.
something first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very important, because you also have seen a lot of people, they sometimes first struggle to buy land. Then once they buy, it's like we, as you mentioned, that you have that film type of a farmhouse concept,
Hmm.
and you always think of big. So sometimes when making it big, you don't do it. So a lot of people,
Right,
they just sit on the land for some time and then they feel it was my dream. So I think
right.
it's the time that goes out, your age goes out to actually
Yes, yes.
experience all those unique memories with your family. That's a good input. And thank you so much, Swati, for being here. And Swati is owner of iDesign. In terms of your services, also, if you can just brief about what exactly you do, and if our client or the viewers of our YouTube channel, if they would like to be in touch with you.
So we are a 22-year-old firm, and we are into architecture and interior design, and moreover we do sustainable designing. We believe less is more. So we always we are the few funny architects in the world who keep on telling that itna mat karo, zyada mat karo, kam karo, usme ho jayega, and all those things. So yeah, and we want to create unique designs every time. So we don't really believe in repetition and uh, typecasting. So we create unique design. We take a lot of pain in creating them,
Wow.
and we enjoy our work. So if you are a dreamer and if you want your dreams to in buildings to come true, then you can come to us. We'll work on the dreams together. That's my message.
Yes, thank you so much. And the Swati's details would be in the description box. So if you're thinking of creating something unique for your farmhouse, you already have land, you're thinking of it, or if you're thinking of land, you come down to us, we'll design together with Swati.
Yes.
There are variations that we can try out. Thank you so much, Swati, for your